Space Riders is a psychedelic science fiction adventure by Fabian Rangel Jr. and Alexis Zirot. Sailing the cosmos in the skullship Santa Muerta, Capitan Peligro and his fearless crew deal harsh justice to the scum of the galaxy. Hey comic book junkies, it's the Frog Queen here, and I'm coming at you with another comic book review. This time I chose to review Space Riders 1, Galaxy of Brutality. This is the second arc following the 4-part miniseries that originally debuted in January 2016. So as you can likely tell, I'm still playing with the lighting and my suiting area and everything for these videos. So thank you for bearing with me while I try to figure out where the best place to do my videos actually is. Right now I'm doing it in front of Reptar the gecko. And I'm not sure if he really appreciates the light being on him, so probably not. He's nocturnal. Anyway, let's just dive right into it, shall we? So I'll start off by saying that in a way, the Space Riders series, what drew me to it was originally the artwork. And by that, I mean this whole psychedelic quality that it has. It reminded me a lot of Philip Druitt, which, of course, it's completely different. It's just the whole combination of science fiction and the psychedelic colors that are really always reminding me of Druitt. If you're not familiar with Druitt, he is one of the original people who started Metal Hurlant. Anyways, what later became heavy metal in America. I can never ever say it in French because my French is terrible. But he was one of the original men who started that with Mobius, of course. We'll talk about him another time. Anyways, or I'll just show you some photos here. So one thing that really caught my attention in this issue was the color palette used in the flashback portion of the story. It has these gorgeous pastels, and I think I personally might have a fetish for pastel in general. When I painted a lot in my early 20s, I always used pastel colors, and these panels just kind of blew me right away. But the art is ultimately what drew me to Space Riders originally. I just really like Alexis Zirot's work. It's really raw, and even though his work is not polished in the same way, I still think of Steve Ditko. When I look at Zirot's work, I know that people are going to be mad that I said that. I feel like whenever you compare something to, some of the greats like Ditko or Wood, people kind of start jumping down your throat to disagree. And I can't even really explain why I relate them. But I will just show you this picture, this penciling of Rom, Space Knight, so you can tell me what you think, but I really see some familiarity between Ditko's penciling and then Zirot's work. It's there. I swear it's there. What's particularly interesting about the actual story to me are, of course, the characters. I love Yara. Yara is this android who's also the voice of reason on the ship. And then there's Mono, which is this giant baboon humanoid. And, of course, you have the token Captain Human guy. And he's like a bit of an asshole, of course, but, knows when to back down, I suppose. The whole thing kind of reminds me of Starjammers, but maybe that's just because I'm rereading too much old X-Men at the moment, which, who am I kidding? Of course I am. As for the actual story, I'm not going to spoil the plot for you, but essentially there's a squabble between the captain and the first mate, and, a journey happens. As per usual, I'm going to complain that floppies are too short for me to accurately gauge if something's going to be a good or a bad story. I can trust Fabian and Alexis to put out something awesome because I really like the first volume of Space Riders. And before I go, I will leave you with this thought. I'm not the only one who you know. Anyway, please feel free to connect with me on Facebook as well. I'll put the link in the description below. I always share sneak previews and stuff that I get from like Marvel and various other labels, just random insider information, I guess, that I don't necessarily share on my blog or on this channel. I've also been sharing some of my older interview articles. I recently just reshared one that I did, an interview I did with Mike Carey when the new Hellblazer came out with Riley Rossmo a couple years ago, which was 2 years ago. So I interviewed Carey to be like, hey, what do you think of the new Hellblazer? And then talk about some of the old stuff, as most people who know me personally know that I'm a huge Hellblazer fan. And that's it. So I guess until the next video, read something good. Bye.